Hey YouTube, what's going on? I wanted to come on and talk about the NCLEX. I just want to go into like how I studied and stuff, and also a little bit about the test itself. You can get, before you take it, you can take a get the temporary permit to practice. So that's $70 in my state, which is PA. So one thing, if your school doesn't tell you, your license has to match your Pearson VUE registration and everything on the state. So everything has to match up. If anything isn't matching up, it's gonna get you sent home the day of the test when they look at your license and try and match it up to your registration or whatever they're matching it up to at Pearson VUE. So some people had misspellings on their license, or they used nicknames, like say your name's Susan, you might put Sue on the Pearson VUE registration. You can't do that. Everything has to match up. So the test itself is 85 to 150 questions. They say if it cuts off at 85, it doesn't mean you passed, it doesn't mean you failed. If you go all the way up to the 150, it doesn't mean either one either. I know two people who took it. One person's cut off at 90. Both of the other girl I know, hers cut off at 85. Mine cut off at 85. We all passed. That's all I know. You can pay for quick results after you take it. It's only $8. And it took me like 3 days to get my results. I went on YouTube, not YouTube, Facebook, and a lot of people got their results the next day. So it varies. But it's nerve-wracking waiting for them results. So the day of, like, get there early, because you got to do all this stuff before you actually go take the test. You have to get palm scan, you have to take your picture, you have to sit there and wait to get a number, then you have to wait to be called up, and in between getting your number and getting called up, you have to review your rules. And you should see in your rules that you can get a pair of earplugs. So I would definitely recommend it, because I don't want to hear nobody coughing, snorting, sniffing. Like, I don't want to hear all that. Them asking questions, them moving around their chairs and stuff. If you hear my kids in the background, I'm sorry, they're like going nuts. They made me lose my whole train of thought. So then you have to lock up everything, and then your phone goes in a bag, in like this sealable bag, right? And then you cannot touch that phone. And if you go and touch that phone on your break, or before you go into the test, if you go back into your locker and touch that phone, it's over. Like, you can't do that. Like, it's a whole investigation if you do that. So I just wanted to explain the phone thing a little better. They give you a bag, and you have to turn off your phone right in front of them. You put it in the bag, give it to them. They seal it. You put it in your locker, and at the end of the test, you give it back to them in that sealed bag still. That's how they confirm you didn't touch your phone. So if you do all that, you go back to the room to take your test, and then over there they palm scan you again. They check your pockets. You're allowed to wear a hoodie in case it's cold, so thank God for that. They'll give you the earplugs back there, and you go in, and then they'll tell you, like, you can take a 2 hour, at the 2 hour mark you can take your break, and that's it. And then the screen will shut off at 2 hours, and it'll be like, do you want to take a break or not? And then if you say yes, it's only a 5-minute break, I think, and it does count against your test time. That's basically it for the day of. And then if you need anything, you have to raise your hand. You can't just get up on your own during the test. So make sure you're, like, didn't drink too much before you go in, because you have to sit there for two hours. Like, you have to. I'm pretty sure. Like, maybe you can get up before that official break time, but I don't know. Luckily, I didn't have to. So how I studied, I went over pediatrics, like the milestones. I used simple nursing for that. And then I went over maternity because I know I don't know none of that stuff. Like, I know it's a weak spot and it paid off. Let's put it that way. I'm not allowed to discuss, like, they gave, after you take the test, it's like you cannot discuss the information that's on this test. And I'm like super paranoid. I'm not gonna do it. But let's just say pediatrics paid off. And then after I did pediatrics, after I did maternity, I went back over psych. I feel pretty good about schizophrenia. So I went over personality disorders because I can't remember all them damn personality disorders. And then like how they're treated. So I went over that, and I went over meds. I went over like all those antidepressant meds and antipsychotics, like they all sound alike. So I went over that. I used simple nursing for that as well. And then for every single category, I did nexus nursing. She is the best. Like, she just does all questions, and if you catch her at the right time, you can get on one of her Kahoots and you can like actually answer the questions. But she's good. Like, she'll like give you the rationale and be like, I know y'all probably picked this one, some of y'all might have picked this one, but this is why it's not correct. And then she gives you those key words to look out for, and it was like just a good review. Like, questions are the best review. And then she just talked about everything. Like, she wouldn't be like, and the answer is D, and move on. You know what I mean? Like, she was really good. Like, I definitely am pushing her channel. I'll link it in my description box. Nexus nursing though. So then after I did all of that, I went and did all the body systems. So I started at wherever, I forget where I started at, but I didn't get through all the systems. Start at your weakest system. Because we had like a whole 3-day ATI review for the NCLEX. So that before we did the 3-day review, we did a predictor test. So if they make you score adequate on that to pass the NCLEX. So with that ATI course, reviewing everything from pediatrics to psych to all the body systems to pharmacology, and then going home and doing like a review, my own review using simple nursing. And then I used the ATI book. I don't know where here it is. I used this ATI book. So then at the end of, like, it says section, and then at the end of each section there'll be, not this one, box, and they give you a little review. So I went through a section on, let's say, GI, and then I would get to the review. I do that, and after I do that review and I went through that section like really quickly, I went straight to nexus nursing, and I went straight to simple nursing. And then simple nursing, they'll have you thinking certain things are going to be on the NCLEX, and all the stuff they said, this is definitely going to be on the NCLEX, this is definitely, it wasn't on the NCLEX. Like, everything the teacher in the ATI course said, you'll definitely get a question on this, this is definitely going to be a question. It wasn't a question. So just study. And here's my advice: when you pass nursing school, go take the NCLEX. Like, what are you gonna do? Sit there and study an entire year to year and a half worth of information? Are you really gonna do that? No. schedule your test as soon as you get that ATT number. And then if you have, you'll have a couple days. Just study, like bam, 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 run through the systems, get what you can, like do a little refresher, but like, and you can't study all that material. You just can't. So if you can pass nursing school and you pass the ATI predictor or whatever your nursing school prepares you with, and you pass that, go take the NCLEX. Look, every test you took in nursing school, every single last one of your tests had so much riding on it, from your pride to the money you spent on that semester. There's no difference between the very first test of the nursing program and your NCLEX. The only difference with the NCLEX is that you can redo it. So don't worry about it. Just take the NCLEX. You're not going to learn anything like substantial. Like, you know what you need to know to be a nurse, and the NCLEX will test that. And if you can pass nursing school, you can probably pass the NCLEX. I'm not saying this goes for everybody, but